Hello and welcome. My name's Hannah and in today's video I'm going to be showing you my favourite makeup from 2021. Not all of these products were released in 2021, but they're the things that I discovered and used throughout the entire year. We've got a lot to get through, so sit back, relax and let's get into the video. Okay, so let's go in order of application, but first I wanted to share with you a couple of lip products that I've been really enjoying this year. So first up we have the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Luscious Lip Mask. This, you can see I have used absolutely tons of. This is just a really amazing lip mask to put on before you go to sleep. I have a tendency to pick my lips during the day, so they're always quite dry and damaged, and this is thick, stays on all night, and then just make sure that your lips are hydrated for the next day, and it is just absolutely amazing. The next lip product is the Clinique Moisture Surge Lip Hydra Plump Treatment. Long name, but this is what I put on while I'm doing my makeup to make sure that my lips are nice and hydrated, and it's just really great for making sure your lips are prepped for makeup. I also do notice a slight plumping effect after I've taken this off, so that's really great as well. And then primer. My favorite primer for the year actually isn't a primer, it's a serum. It is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. It smells amazing, first of all. It adds a tiny bit of glow to my skin. It sets down a little bit tacky, which is great for putting makeup on top, and I do notice an improvement in the brightness of my skin after I've used this a few days in a row. It is skincare as well as a really great makeup primer, so it does multiple things and really great. In terms of foundation, my very favorite foundation this year was the L'Oreal True Match Nude Plumping Tinted Serum. This is just the most amazing everyday foundation. It is very thin consistency. It is definitely light coverage, but you can build it up to be almost a medium coverage, which is great. It blends in really amazingly with a sponge, with your fingers, with a brush. It sets down really nicely, so you're not gonna get transfer when you're moving around. It feels like nothing on the skin. It's incredibly lightweight, and it lasts a really long time as well. And I have been using this almost every single day since I got it. You can see I'm almost halfway through the jar. So this is amazing and would thoroughly recommend. I also have a couple of honorable mentions in the foundation category. My first one is the Milani Screen Queen foundation. This is a natural finish foundation, and it does a very similar thing to the True Match Nude foundation, but it is thicker, as you can see on the back of my hand, and I would say it gives a little bit more coverage, but again, sinks in really well, blends out really well, sets down really well, and just gives you that gorgeous, natural, everyday finish that I love. And then finally, as an honorable mention in the foundation category, this isn't something that I discovered this year, this is just a staple favorite in my collection. It is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Freshware Foundation, and this is for when I want something a bit more full coverage but still want to have that natural radiant finish. It covers everything up, it lasts a really long time, it is very lightweight. You can see that is a very thin consistency, but it just looks absolutely amazing on the skin. And I'm not doing this justice because I put way too much on my hand. Bear with. Okay, so moving on to concealer, my favorite concealer this year was the Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer and Eraser, and this is in the very lightest shade WN01 Flax. I'm almost out of this actually, and I need to get another tube. It is full coverage, but it definitely has a natural finish, so it just blends in with the rest of your face. It doesn't look like you're wearing anything at all. I have worn this on days when I'm wearing no makeup, but I want coverage under the eyes, and it's just a really wonderful concealer for going out for every day. It does absolutely everything. I have it on today and I haven't set it down with any powder, and it still just looks absolutely wonderful. And then my other favorite concealer for the year is the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eyeshadow Primer. I like this particularly for on the face to cover up any redness, to cover up spots. It just makes things disappear. It's a really lovely creamy texture. It comes in this little pot, and as I said, it just makes your spots disappear. So next up is powder, and to be honest, because we've been working from home and I haven't really left the house that much this year, I haven't used a lot of powder, so I don't have a favorite powder for this year, but a couple of honorable mentions. First up is the Smashbox Halo Fresh Perfecting Powder. This is really lovely if you want to add a tiny bit more coverage. It is a very lightweight powder. It doesn't really disrupt the finish of whatever you're wearing underneath, and I really like that. I tried this out in my Smashbox Halo review video ages ago, and it just is a really nice powder. And I love the applicator where you can just twist it and it kind of releases the amount of powder that you want, so you're not wasting any powder, although it does get a little bit messy. And then the other powder that I wanted to mention is the number 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder in the shade Translucent. This is just a really great lightweight setting powder that doesn't really add any coverage but does mattify just a tiny bit. Moving on to eyes, and the first thing I wanted to mention was a palette. So this is the Side by Side Nude palette by Nabla, and I love this so much. I got this because of Julia Adams MUA here on YouTube. She has a video doing 3 different looks with this palette, and she is an actual makeup artist, so I will link that video below if you are interested in seeing this in action a bit more. But this is just a really beautiful everyday neutral palette that has a little bit of everything. It's got matte shimmers, a couple of glitters as well. It's got cool tones, warm tones. I think this is fantastic. You can create so many different looks with it. I don't see grays very often in palettes like this. It's just a really unique everyday neutral palette. I'll swatch a couple of the shades for you now. So let's do Ray of Light, which is this one here. Better Society, which I wore the other night, and it's just a really gorgeous glittery shade that I wasn't expecting. Love Ritual and Burnt Sienna. That's the glittery shade. Oh, it's stunning. And Burnt Sienna. So you can see they're really pigmented, but they blend out so beautifully. They last ages on the eyes, so you know if you go out you'll come back and your eyeshadow is going to look exactly the same, which is fantastic. I'm wearing it on my eyes today and I love it. And then apart from that, I didn't really have anything else for eyeshadow, but I did have a couple of honorable mentions. So first up are the e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow Quads. I have quite a few shades in these, and these are so inexpensive, but the formula is fantastic, both on the mattes and the shimmers, and you can kind of get everything from bright to more subdued. I have these little ones from the Mint collection that they did a little while ago, and these are fantastic. I have rosy tones, I have more berry tones, and I also have 3 more of these in different shades coming in the post because I just love them so much, and they're a fantastic staple. Everything is fantastic, or it wouldn't be in my 2021 roundup. The other honorable mention is also from e.l.f., and I wanted to mention these liquid eyeshadows that they have, and I have 6 shades in these. They have a metallic finish eyeshadow, but they also have glitter eyeshadows. I have more of the neutral tones, but you definitely can get brighter shades. They do bright blue, I think they do like a bright green. They have this really, really bright gold, which I love. I'll swatch these on the back of my hand for you now so you can see them, but they perform so well, and I have really been enjoying them. But obviously because we haven't been going out of the house, I haven't had much of an occasion to wear them, which is a shame. So I'm sure I will be digging into them a lot more in 2022. Okay, so those are all the shades swatched on the back of my hand. We've got the 3 glitters down here and the 3 metallics up here. I would thoroughly recommend checking these out because again, they're just so inexpensive. They pair really nicely with these as well, and I just think they're worth a go if you like this sort of a look. Also, at this point, I am going to apologize for the redness on my neck and my face. It happens all the time whenever I speak for a long period of time, so it just is what it is. And we're gonna try and ignore it for the rest of the video. So usually I would do my mascara right at the end of my makeup so the setting spray doesn't disrupt it at all, but because we're looking at the eyes, I'm gonna talk about mascara next. My favorite for the year has to be the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. This doesn't volumize at all, it separates and it lengthens. I have it on my eyes today, and this has just been an everyday staple. This is my second tube and it is already running out, so I'm gonna have to get another one. I just love this for every day. I think it looks really, really amazing and it makes my lashes just so beautiful and long, and it is definitely worth all of the hype that it got on TikTok. A couple of honorable mentions in the mascara category. First of all is the Revlon Sophia mascara. I got this towards the end of the year, but it is really, really great. Very similar to the Sky High in that it lengthens and separates and gives you just really lovely long lashes, but it won't really do anything for volume, which is why my other honorable mention is the NYX On The Rise Volume Lift Mascara. This is amazing for volume. It just makes your lashes look so big and voluminous and clumpy, but in a good way, and it is my going out mascara if I want to look a little bit more dramatic. Okay, moving on to eyebrows. As I've said before, this was a year of staying at home, so I didn't do anything too complicated with my eyebrows. So my favorite eyebrow product for the year was the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Taupe. This is just a really lovely, very lazy eyebrow product. It's got little fibers in there and it sets down your brows, it brushes through your brows, adds a little bit of color so you can just bring them to life a little bit. I also really liked the Essence Make Me Brow eyebrow gel this year as well, but this is slightly less pigmented than the e.l.f. So if you didn't want something as dramatic, this is a really great option as well. I'm running out of space on my desk. Too much makeup. Moving on to cheek products. I have two bronzers to mention that I really, really enjoyed. First is the e.l.f. I think this is the Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. This is what I'm wearing on my face today. It is just a really lovely, warm, summery type bronzer that has a really good amount of pigment. So it's not too pigmented where you're gonna have just like a brown stripe on your face, but you can definitely build it up so that it's got quite a lovely intense color, and I really, really enjoyed this one this year. The other bronzer that I enjoyed in 2021 is the Flower Heatwave Luminous Bronzer, and this is very, very similar to the e.l.f. It's a gorgeous, warm, summery shade that I did use a lot throughout the summer, but it just has that little bit of luminosity to it that makes your skin look healthy, glowing, and again, you can just build it up to whatever intensity you want it to be. Okay, moving on to blush. For liquid blush, my favorite discovery this year was the NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint Blush Mousse. That is a long name. My favorite shade was Nude Tude. This is Nude Tude here, but it blends out so easily. And it looks quite intense on the hand now, but when you blend it out, it really does just sink into the skin. You can build it up really nicely. It lasts quite a long time. And I have tried this under and over powder, and it works really well with both. It is just an amazing formula that is definitely comparable to high end. I also have the shade Almost Famous, which is this bright red. This I haven't obviously used as much. But it's still a really, really lovely color that blends out to this orangey red flush. And then in terms of powder blushes, my favorites this year were the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour blushes. I only really got these in November because I picked up their Christmas set, which is amazing. If you can get your hands on it, would recommend. So it comes with 4 of these shades plus a highlighter, and even though I got these towards the end of the year, I have been wearing them so much. I have the shade Exposed on my cheeks today, and this is just like a wonderful everyday neutral shade, and they are incredibly pigmented. They last all day and they just look really wonderful and seamless on the skin. Exposed is definitely my favorite shade, probably followed by Delight, which looks like this, another sort of purpley tone. But in the set, you also get the shade Charmed, which is this lovely bright pink, and Captivating, which is a slightly more pinky peach color, perfect for the summertime. So I'm excited to try that out in summer 22. My other favorite getting all my words. My other favorite powder blush this year was the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Vintage Rouge, specifically this shade, because it is just the most amazing everyday shade. I would say it's a satin blush. It smells like coconut, which is fantastic. And it's just very subtle, but you can definitely build this up. It's a wonderful, wonderful everyday blush with an orangey sort of undertone that goes really nicely with all of my summery lipsticks, all my summery eyeshadows, and I really, really, really enjoyed this, particularly in the summer, but the formula's great. Then on to highlighter. I have to say, I didn't really discover any new highlighters that I loved this year. So this is again just another staple highlighter in my collection that I use all the time, and it is the Face Studio Chrome Extreme Intense Metallic Highlighter in the shade Sandstone Shimmer. I have the pink shade in this as well, and that is definitely a lot more intense. This is more of a subtle champagne shade. Again, I'm wearing it on my cheeks today, and you can definitely build this up to be incredibly intense, but if you just put a little bit on, it looks very, very natural. Stunning, reliable highlighter. Okay, so I think that leaves us with lips and setting spray. And I also have a perfume to mention as well. The lips category, I am a bit obsessed with lipsticks, and I have an entire IKEA drawer here just full of lipsticks and lip products. So I'm gonna break it down into different categories for my favorites because there's just too many. First up, traditional lipsticks. And my favorite this year was the Milani Nude Fetish, I think they're called, lipsticks. And I have 4 shades in these. These are incredibly creamy. They glide on so smoothly. They last a really long time, and they are just gorgeous nude shades. The one that I'm wearing on my lips today is Pleasure, and this is my favorite one. I will swatch them all on the back of my hand. So that is the shade Tease. This is the shade Pleasure. The shade Secret, which is my second favorite, I think. And the shade Desire, which is a really lovely, deep, purpley brown. Then moving on to lip glosses. My favorite lip glosses this year were the Maybelline Lifter Glosses, and you can tell that I like them because I have every single shade. And these are really pigmented. They feel hydrating on the lips. They last a really long time for a lip gloss, so they will stay on quite well and they won't smudge around. They have 2 different types of lip gloss. So they have the sheerer, almost glittery lip glosses, and this is the shade Topaz. I really love this one, and you can see it's just a lovely orangey sheer lip gloss with a tiny bit of shimmer in there. Ice and Moon are also in this formula. And then you have the slightly more pigmented lip glosses, which are just one straight color, no shimmer. This is the shade Stone, which is one of my favorites. And you can see a huge amount of color payoff, which is great. And I'll also show you the shade Petal, because this one again is quite pigmented. Just a really lovely purpley color. I have the shade Moon layered over the top of the Milani lipstick, and these are just fantastic. Again, worth the TikTok hype. Would thoroughly recommend getting a couple of shades in that if they are your kind of thing. In terms of liquid lipsticks, my favorite were the Brilliant Signature lipsticks from L'Oreal. These are very similar to their Rouge Signature lipsticks that look like this, but in a glossy formula. These ones are matte, and I love these. I only had 1 shade in this when I started 2021, which is Be Uncontrollable, and I picked up loads more because they are amazing. They last all day. They transfer only a tiny little bit, even the bright red shades, and they stay glossy, which I don't know how they do that for so long. It's like magic, honestly. I'll show you the shades I have now. So this is Be Uncontrollable. This is Be Independent. This one is Be Feminist. This one is Be Impertinent. And this goes so well with that Almost Famous NYX liquid blush. It is almost exactly the same color, which is fantastic. And this one is Be Brilliant, which I actually just picked up because I wanted more of a cool toned red for the festive period. And they're just gorgeous, and they stay this glowy throughout the day, and they're so comfortable on the lips, unlike a normal liquid lipsticks that, you know, can be a little bit drying. These feel so comfortable, almost like nothing. They are amazing, and you can see they kind of stain the lips, so even when they fade off, which they fade off really nicely and evenly throughout the day, even when they fade off, they're going to leave you with a little tiny bit of color. Probably should have done this at the end because now I can't use this hand for swatches. And then finally on the lip front, I have a few lip balm type products to mention. First up is the Maracuja Juicy Lips from Tarte. I picked these up again in November time because they were having deals on different sets. These are just really lovely, hydrating, glossy lip balms that have a really great sheer wash of color. This is the shade Orchid, and you'll see, I'm gonna just do it on the side there. But they just give the tiniest bit of color. And they're not going to last a huge amount of time on the lips, but they're just really lovely for every day. Really been enjoying these, been wearing these a lot since I got them. And then also from Tarte, on the lip balm end of things, I have the Tart C H2o Bombs. This came in a set of 4, and then I also have the other set of 4 coming in the post very soon because I love these so much. This is the shade Zen. These are just really lovely, smooth balms. They've got less of a glossy texture, but they sink into the lips really nicely, and they last a surprisingly long amount of time for what they are. And again, they're just really wonderful everyday lip products that keep your lips hydrated, feel like nothing, and make you look just that little bit more healthy. I have the shades Zen, Room Service, Meditate, and Relax, and all of these are wonderful. Meditate is a little bit darker of a plum color and actually shows up quite well on the lips. Almost looks a bit like a lipstick, which is fantastic. And then finally for makeup, I have a setting spray that I have used so much throughout this year, and it is the Milani Make It Last Original Natural Finish Setting Spray. This says it's a 16-hour wear. I would definitely agree. This keeps your makeup in place for such a long time. It's got a really wonderful fine mister, which you don't find on a lot of drugstore setting sprays, but it also doesn't really change the finish of your makeup underneath. I find that things like the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist or some of the e.l.f. dewy setting sprays add too much shine to your face, and I'm already using a lot of shiny hydrating products, so having something that doesn't mattify your makeup but also doesn't make it really dewy is amazing, and it just makes your makeup last so long. And then finally, fragrance favorite, and this is not from the drugstore, this is the Gucci Flora perfume. It has white gardenia, jasmine, and pear blossom. It smells very sweet, flowery, vanilla-y, and because it is quite expensive, the fragrance does last a really long time, and I just love it. It smells so fresh. I have been loving this. So I think that is everything for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you're having a great 2022 already. If you liked this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you like me and you want to see more videos from me, then please hit that subscribe button down below. If you want to, absolutely no pressure. I'd also love to hear in the comments what your favorite makeup of 2021 was. If you've got a standout product that you think I should try, then let me know. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.